2:46 a.m., Adler, the Black Sea air hangs heavy with humidity, its salt tang mixing with the faint smell of diesel from the port. The streets of this coastal city are still. Hotels along the waterfront lie dark, their guests long since lulled into slumber by the rhythmic wash of waves. But above this quiet, above the still water and neon-lit boardwalks, something invisible is moving, something that does not belong to the night. On the southern horizon, far beyond the naked eye's reach, a ripple in the darkness grows. It makes no sound. It does not appear on radar screens. It has no call sign, no transponder, and no pilot. It is not one thing, but many, a pack of hunters bound not by radio commands, but by something more primal. Within minutes, the skyline over Russia's Black Sea coast will change forever. The first blink at 2:46 a.m. The first anomaly occurs. From a geosynchronous satellite, an American infrared sensor blinks awake. A pinpoint of heat appears, so faint it could be the exhaust from a fishing boat. But then, just as quickly, another pinprick flares. Then another. Within seconds, a constellation of heat blooms dots the shoreline from Tuapse to Adler. Down on the ground, in the command cabin of a Russian early warning battery, two radar operators stare at their scopes. There is nothing there. No dots. No blips. No tracks approaching from the Black Sea or the mountains. The scopes are as empty as they were 20 minutes ago, and yet, outside the command trailer, the night is about to erupt. $500 million worth of silence guarding this stretch of coast is one of the densest air defense networks in the world. The pride of Russia's anti-air arsenal, the S-400 Triumph long-range SAM system, with a nominal kill radius of 400 kilometers. Close-in defense comes from Panzer S-1 hybrid gun missile batteries, each carrying 96 57x10 to the power of 6 missiles and twin 30mm 2A38M autocannons mounted on trucks and bristling with sensors. This defense grid has been calibrated to detect everything from NATO stealth fighters to hypersonic cruise missiles. Layered radar networks sweep the sea, the hills, and the skies overhead. Overlapping fields of fire create kill zones where incoming threats should be annihilated long before they can reach critical targets. In theory, nothing gets through. In practice, tonight will prove that theory obsolete. The target, Adler Fuel Depot. From the outside, the Adler Oil Terminal is just another industrial sprawl, rows of massive cylindrical storage tanks, long fuel transfer pipes stretching toward the port, and squat control buildings housing pumps and filtration systems. But to Russian strategic aviation, this facility is a lifeline. Adler is one of two major southern nodes alongside the Taman Peninsula Storage (TAPS) facility that feeds TS-1 aviation kerosene to Russia's bomber fleet. That includes the Tu-95 MS Bear and the Tu-160 Blackjack nuclear-capable bombers stationed hundreds of kilometers away at Engels and Mozdok air bases. Without Adler's kerosene, those bombers stay grounded. And without those bombers, Russia's nuclear triad loses one of its legs. Why Adler was untouchable until tonight? From a strike planner's perspective, Adler presents four major challenges: terrain. While the Caucasus Mountains to the northeast provide natural radar shadows for some approach routes, the final kilometers to Adler are flat, open, and exposed along the coast. Perfect for radar coverage. Defense density. The Krasnodar Krai region is one of the most militarized zones west of the Urals. Its air defense coverage is so thick that any incursion should trigger multiple overlapping alerts across the Arab Uni, KRWMSK, and Rostov air defense sectors. Electronic warfare saturation. Russian EW units jam GPS L1/L2 bands and known autonomous drone frequencies along the coast. This makes GPS navigation useless and disrupts conventional swarm coordination. Escalation risk. This is not a declared war zone. A high-profile strike here risks escalation, so any attack must be plausibly deniable. No jets, no cruise missiles, no easily attributable weapons. The digital wolf pack. The strike that unfolded tonight did not come from fast jets or long-range missiles. It came from a swarm of AI-guided FPV drones, each costing under $5,000. Each drone carried a shaped charge warhead optimized for igniting petrochemical storage. A low RCS composite airframe designed to minimize radar reflection, thermal and optical sensors for terrain and target recognition. An onboard AI neural network trained on months of satellite imagery, terrain data, and electromagnetic scans of Russia's Black Sea defenses. These were not dumb drones following pre-programmed waypoints. Each one could navigate without GPS using terrain contour matching in visual odometry. Recognize and avoid radar beams by reading their sidelobe spillover in real time. Communicate laterally with nearby drones using low probability of intercept (LPI) bursts, allowing the swarm to adapt without a central controller. If one drone was lost, the rest would automatically reassign its target. If a radar locked onto them, sacrificial drones could deliberately expose themselves to draw fire, clearing a path for others. It was not just a swarm. It was a distributed intelligence network launched shortly before midnight. In a wooded area near the Ukrainian border, a nondescript delivery van sits parked with its rear doors open. Inside, racks of drones are secured in padded mounts. A team of 3 works in near total darkness, speaking little, hands moving with practiced precision. One by one, drones are armed, their rotors locked until launch. Their onboard computers are fed encrypted mission packets, local terrain models, electromagnetic maps, target coordinates, and fallback strike orders. When the countdown reaches 0, the first wave of drones launches, skimming barely 3 meters above the ground. Their electric motors whisper into the night as they head south toward the coast, the ingress at cruising speed. The swarm rides low along river valleys and tree lines, staying below radar horizons. Over open ground, they hug the earth, their AI calculating optimal micro-adjustments to avoid detection from side-looking radars. Approaching the Russian coastline, the swarm splits into 3 subgroups. Some angle out over the water, blending into the IR clutter of waves and port activity. Others snake inland, using small industrial structures to mask their approach vectors. Not one of them uses GPS. Instead, they cross-reference visible terrain features with stored maps, using natural variations in light and shadow to confirm position. Inside the S-400's blind spot, Russia's S-400 systems are tuned to hunt large, fast-moving threats: stealth fighters, cruise missiles, ballistic re-entry vehicles. Their radar lobes are designed for mid to high altitude targets. The drones, however, are flying at 12 feet above the surface. Inside the radar's ground clutter zone, the messy layer of returns caused by reflections off terrain, buildings, and waves. Filtering this clutter out is standard radar processing. The irony is that the very process that keeps operators from drowning in false returns also hides these drones completely. The strike at 2:44 a.m. The first wave hits visual range of the Adler depot. The tanks loom ahead, glistening faintly in scattered moonlight. The AI calculates approach vectors in milliseconds. Group A comes in from the east over water, using the depot's own heat signature as a beacon. Group B approaches from the north, zigzagging to break any last-minute radar locks. Group C lags behind, ready to strike secondary structures or detonate in place to spread fire. Impact is precise. The first drone slams into Tank 3, holding nearly 95,000 gallons of kerosene. The shaped charge punches through steel, igniting the fuel in a white-hot fireball. Milliseconds later, another drone hits the pumping station, severing the depot's heart, the point where fuel is filtered, pressurized, and sent down the pipeline. 2 minutes later, 35 kilometers to the north, the TAPS facility is struck by a mirrored attack from a second AI swarm. By 2:49 a.m., both depots are engulfed. Aftermath thermal satellite imagery shows flames leaping over 100 meters high. Aluminum piping has melted, concrete foundations have cracked from heat shock, and the main control shed has collapsed inward. Over 180,000 gallons of aviation fuel are gone, either burned or rendered unusable from contamination. In monetary terms, the damage is estimated at $45 million. But the operational cost is far higher: fuel rationing for 7 to 10 days, grounding at least a dozen Tu-95 bombers, and the S-400s. They never fired a shot. The doctrinal shockwave. This strike was not just about destroying fuel tanks. It was about rewriting the rules of air defense. It proved that cost asymmetry now favors the attacker. $40,000 in drones can neutralize hundreds of millions in defenses. Stealth is no longer about shape, it's about algorithmic behavior and exploiting sensor processing blind spots. Distributed AI swarms are immune to jamming. Kill one drone, the rest keep coming. If a swarm like this can hit Adler, it can hit radar sites in Kaliningrad, air bases in Crimea, or even ships in Sevastopol, all without a single human crossing the border. The battlefield has shifted. The pilot has been replaced by a processor.